about hip rotation, right? So you're just limiting that hip shoulder separation, what I look at as late hip rotation. Okay, so if we pull up the video of you from the back, we can clearly see when you come down to your anchor point here that this trail hip hasn't really even started to rotate. So you see the shoulder and that hip kind of start moving together, and there's no point in which you create the stretch that we want, right? So we want to disassociate our shoulders from our hips, meaning that when we now enter that drive and we've gotten so much energy produced into the ground, now our hips begin to rotate, so that energy starts to transfer up, but our trunk stays put in that posture. So you create this kind of, it almost feels like counter rotation of the trunk and then the hips going. So then you create this stretch, right? And this is where I would talk about like the arms just along for the ride, because once you get into the position that we're talking about, then the hips finish off the fire. That brings about the trunk rotation, right? So we build so much rotational energy. Then it's about just releasing it when it comes time at that anchor point of our front foot connected to the ground. So then we release that. So the hips deliver the trunk, boom, then the trunk delivers the arm, right? That's that effortless fuzz that, again, going back to your boy Chapman here, we see him do an exceptionally good job. But just watch how after he's done producing into the ground, there's another great visual of that kind of drive leg. Watch how he starts his hip rotation. So his knee is going to be shooting into the ground, basically. So, right, so hip, trail hip, internal rotation, boom. So he's at full front foot contact. Now, look at that, right? So you see the whole back foot, that trail hip is right about on, almost fully rotated, right? But his trunk is delayed, so he creates that huge separation. And he's able to create so much rotational energy or torque, and then just boom, it gets released, right? Boom, it gets released. So that's the whole thing, man. And I just see that, with you, especially if we just kind of looked at the difference here. This is both at full front foot contact. We're just seeing that, we're not separating them, and it's tough, dude. Like it's a different move.